Imagine you are on a trip to Spain. You reach the Madrid airport, you come out and you need to book a cab to reach your hotel. Well, you are trying to explain it to the cab driver, but he doesn't understand it as he understands only Spanish. What do you do now? You pull up your phone, you pull up the Google Translate app, you type your query in English, it gives you a Spanish translation, you show it to the cab driver, and he takes you to the hotel. Curious about what is the technology behind such an application? Well, the technology is known as natural language processing or NLP. In this video, I'll be giving you an overview of what is NLP, some of the applications, and also some toolkits for developing NLP applications. Welcome to Arshri Tech. This is Ritesh Srinivasan. If you are new here, please press the subscribe button to subscribe to the channel. Natural language processing or NLP is a field of computer science, artificial intelligence, computational linguistics concerned with the interactions between computers and human languages. It mainly encompasses two areas: natural language understanding, which is about taking some spoken or typed sentence and making sense out of it. For example, you have Twitter feed analysis, which is about analyzing the Twitter posts, whether there are negative content, whether there is abusive content, and things like that. Then you have natural language generation, which is about taking some formal representation of what you want to say and working out a way to express it in a natural language, for example, English. For example, a chatbot needs to answer to user queries. So how does it generate the answer? So this is natural language generation. Let us look at what is the input to an NLP system and what is the possible output from an NLP system. The input is a set of speech or text files. The output could be any of the above. It could be a named entities recognition. So basically you have to identify in the text who is a person, where is he from, the place. Like these are called as named entities. So extracting this named entity is one type of an output from an NLP system. The next type of output from an NLP system is sentiment classification. So basically you have these social media posts or from Facebook or Twitter, and you want to analyze how a user has given a review for a particular product, whether it is negative, positive. So that is sentiment analysis. Right. The next one is categorization of text into certain groups. For example, you have a lot of news articles and you want to categorize them into sports, science, health, technology, things like this. The next possible output is information extraction. You want to really extract information from the documents. Like for example, you have US real estate scanned documents converted to text. From this, you want to actually extract who is the buyer of the property, who is the seller of the property, right? And what is the loan amount, things like this. This falls into information extraction. And then you can do intent classification. Intent classification is mainly done in chatbots and similar applications where you try to understand what is the user asking for, right? What is the intent of the user? The next major output could be translation, right? You have a speech or text in a particular language, say English, and you want to convert it into Hindi or you want to convert it into French. So how NLP is used for even machine translation. And the last thing is summarization. So you have a long paragraph of text or many paragraphs of text and you want to make a summary out of it for better understanding. For example, you have a conference paper where you have an abstract and you have the other content. Assuming the abstract was not there, how do you generate the abstract from the content? Right? So these are some of the possible outputs, but not limited entirely to this. There could be other possible outputs also from an NLP system. Now that we have seen the input and output of an NLP system, let us look at what constitutes the NLP system. So the classical NLP pipeline consists of four major blocks: pre-processing, syntactic analysis, semantic analysis, and contextual interpretation. In pre-processing, you have various sub-blocks. The first one is token normalization, which is about splitting text into words. So basically you have paragraphs, from paragraphs you have sentence, from sentence you have word. Final level is you have a bunch of words. Right. The next part is part of speech tagging. So in this, every word is identified to belong to certain part of speech, say like noun, adverb, or it could be adjective, right? Any of these. Then you go to the morphological analysis phase, where what is tried is that you actually try to reduce the words to its basis. For example, there is a process called stemming in which certain affixes are removed. For example, over here, playing, plays, played. If you remove the suffixes, it becomes play. And then there is the lemmatization process where it tries to find a similar word based on vocabulary. For example, am, are, or is mapped to be. right? The next phase is named entity recognition. In this phase, you actually try to identify entities present in the text. So entities are places, persons, things, right? And then you have the co-reference resolution. Co-reference resolution is something like this. If you have a sentence like Bangalore is a very beautiful place, and the second sentence is that it is called the garden city of India, it in the second sentence refers to the entity Bangalore in the first sentence. So that is the co-reference resolution between entities. Now let's look at the syntactic analysis block. Syntactic analysis block is trying to identify the structure of the text, right? What is the subject in the text? What is the predicate in the text? Things like that. Semantic analysis tries to understand the meaning of the text. And then you have contextual interpretation, which tries to understand based on the syntax and semantics. It tries to identify what is the context of this particular text. Let us now look at an example of the NLP pipeline. You have a sentence over here which says a dog is chasing a boy on the playground. The first step is breaking it into words. That's the tokenization. Then you have part of speech or tagging, whereby becomes a determinant, dog becomes a noun, chasing becomes a verb, and so on. Right? Then you have a part called chunking, which is not explicit over here, but in chunking, what happens is that certain parts of speech are grouped together. So a dog becomes a noun phrase, he's chasing becomes a complex verb, a boy becomes a noun phrase. Right? You also have a noun phrase, the playground, and on becomes a preposition. Right? So now let's go to the syntactic analysis. So in the syntactic analysis, you took the sentence and then you split it into these noun phrases, verb phrases, right? Now we'll go to the semantic analysis, whereby we are trying to identify what are the entities in this particular sentence. So you have the dog, you have the boy, and you have the playground. These are the objects or elements present, and there is an action called chasing. Right? From this, actually, we can come to inference that the boy is being chased by the dog, and hence he is scared. So this is the contextual interpretation. The contextual interpretation over here could be that a person is saying this to another person who is the owner of the dog to get his dog back. Now let us look at applications of NLP. The most famous and the most common application of NLP which you see in your everyday life are virtual assistants. These virtual assistants are present on your smartphones, they are present on other devices, even in some cars these days. Right? So Google has Google Assistant, Samsung has Bixby, Apple has Siri, Amazon has Alexa. Each of these assistants can take input in the form of text or in the form of audio and then produce a certain output. It could be like question answering. It would be to perform a certain task, like switch on the AC, switch off the TV, things like that. These assistants would not have come into picture if natural language processing has not advanced. Let us look at some of the NLP applications. So Google Translate is an NLP application. So what happens over here is that you type a sentence in English and you say that I want it to be translated into French. Google Translate translates this sentence from English to French. Right? Another simple application is what you see in your search bar in Google. It is called as auto suggest. So basically you type something, for example over here introduction to NLP, and then you see that it kind of provides suggestions on the most common queries, and it thereby optimizes your search process. Let us look at some more applications of NLP. Social media analytics is a huge application of NLP. You have various social media like YouTube, you have LinkedIn, you have Facebook, you have Twitter, and there are a lot of comments and there are a lot of reviews written over here. Trying to manually understand these reviews or comments are really difficult. So these companies have come up with natural language processing programs which can, identify certain trends in these particular tweets or identify a certain set of comments as abusive. Right? So these are all applications of NLP. And then you see the bigger chunk of applications like question answering system. So basically you have a product manual and then you are trying to ask a question to the system and it tries to answer. This is also present in systems like Alexa, where you can ask a fact-based question and it can give you a reply. Right? It is present in customer support in the form of chatbots, where chatbots provide answers to user queries. Then you have this summarization aspect, which is about summarizing long articles into short forms. So assuming you have an application which is like a news feed where you have said that I want articles from certain set of categories, but I don't want to read the entire article. Right? So these programs can actually summarize the article into smaller sections and show it to you. And obviously search engines are the most frequently used and common applications of NLP. Now that you have an overview of what is NLP, what are its applications, let us look at certain toolkits which provide you with tools to develop NLP programs. Right, so you have these various tools like NLTK, which is a Python-based tool. Then you have the Stanford NLP Toolkit, which is a Java-based tool. Then you have Spacy, OpenNLP, Flare. Most of these tools are open source. They have good tutorials for you to start your programs. If you are interested, please tell me in the comments. I would also prepare a tutorial video on each of these toolkits. In summary, you have understood what is NLP, you have understood NLP applications and certain toolkits to develop NLP applications. If you like such content, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon and also turn on notifications. Stay safe. See you in the next video. Bye.